Everybody's time of day. Get your ass out of work, get ready to play. Been feeling down, it's time to get through. Open up a can and taste it through. Call my friends, gonna see what's cool. You know I'm gonna need a beer. Sucking them down behind the school, start out and keep it real. Turning the janitor, making this bus the cops. Come to the house without a fucking club and a fuck off. Enough motherfuckers in the fucking place to make us lips and feel like light eyes. I'm drunk back deep with a couple of broads, I'm still laying fucking whole shots. D-R-I-S-T-O-S with Bristol. D-R-I-S-T-O-S with beer. D-R-I-S-T-O-S with Bristol. D-R-I-S-T-O-S with beer. Stop here.
Hi, how you doing? A big thanks once again to the now retired band Little Hands for the intro music to this episode of Catharsis. I'm your host, the producer here at the Full Circle Radio Network, Joseph J. Alexander. Nice to see you. So, what do we want to talk about today? Well, I actually had an agenda of other stuff I wanted to get to. A few other topics, a few other things that I actually wanted to, get to this week. Luckily I got the other shows out so far. I wanted to actually try to pump out another episode of Brass Tacks this week. Apparently, it's taking a back seat, so I apologize for that. Because someone can't leave well enough alone. And it would be hilarious if it weren't so utterly pathetic. But hey, such is the nature of the beast with some of the people in power in this city. So, what's happened since the last episode of Catharsis? I mean, it's been, 2 weeks? Well, apparently I've ruffled a few feathers. I've rustled a few jimmies. So your old boy JJ has been targeted. And it's so juvenile. Just so juvenile. So, what am I mentioning? What am I talking about? Well, so first, the first bit was another shitty AI video surfaced, trying to blame the Board of Education for this, that, and the other thing. I'll get to more of what happened on that front a little later. But what was hilarious was, let's see here. You live rent-free in someone's head when they can't leave well enough alone. You see, this is my platform. I speak about a plethora of things on this platform. It just so happens that the last 2 editions have dealt with local issues. I've spoken about other things on this podcast. So it's not my sole method. It is not my focal point. It just happened to be what I needed to talk about at the time. But then, all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, on the Full Circle Network's Facebook page, a comment gets left. And it's a link to a video. And the comment is left by the page that produces the shitty AI videos. If you're trying to pull off a good joke, you don't out yourself like that. Number 1, your joke sucks. But number 2, you literally proved that by me just speaking truth, that I got under your skin. You must suck at poker. So I'm not going to play the whole video for you because, good Lord, was this one of the most immature things I've seen. Like literally with women with the name Anita Dick and Me. Like that's some sixth grade bullshit right there. But basically the whole thing was, once again, blaming the Board of Ed, yada, yada, this, that, and the other thing. When you see then, there was a segment with apparently it was supposed to be an open forum at City Hall with concerned citizens or whatever. And once again, you have outed yourself, Jeff, when all of the other voices do not match except yours. You can tell when it's someone who's reading off a script. You can tell when it's a script that has been fed through an AI generator. And you can tell when it is directly you saying these things. But hey, no, but you're not affiliated with any, the page isn't affiliated with any party or politician. That's the most veiled shit, whatever. See, I put up a disclaimer at the beginning of mine because, well, I mean, we'll get to it. But if you've noticed, I'm the only human being that appears on Catharsis. You got my dog who appears in the background, but he sure as hell isn't adding any dialogue. So I take credit for what I say. But I'm beating around the bush. So what am I talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is this.
Okay, I think we have time for one more.
Yes, my name is Travis J. Sphincter, or you may call me by my nickname. My friends call me Crack Pipe, and I live at 300 Middle Street. Yes, I want to know why the mayor's office is dead set against virtue signaling. It's offensive to the mentally unhinged people like me. You don't hang the LGBTQ plus flag. You're dead set against tampon day at schools. You blatantly refuse to change your profile picture to the Ukrainian flag. And from what I understand, you actually go to church. A church I don't like. I mean, you make me so angry, I almost forgot to take my antipsychotic medication. I even yelled at my mom from the basement.
OMG, boss, you have to do better.
Looks like he forgot to take his Ozempic, though. Take it easy on this one. Nobody feels like dodging hatchets tonight.
Well, thank you for your input there, Mr. Crackpipe. I promise to do better. You have my word.
Fuck buckle.
So you can obviously tell they had to aim that at me. Number one. Where do I start? The mentally unhinged comments. I mean, give me a fucking break. That's your go-to for everything. Anytime someone disagrees with you, it's, oh, they're mentally ill. You call trans people mentally ill. You call gay people mentally ill. You call everybody mentally ill. Get some new fucking material. Second, you want to make a church comment? Anyone that knows me knows that I've been on the board of directors of my church for 2 decades. Exactly. I've even mentioned on episodes of Catharsis how important my religious path is to me. But let's just circle around to that for 1 second. Let's do a little bit of showing. So you see, if you want to act like I'm some hateful person towards your religion, well, that's when you lose even more ground because, number one, I've been a member of the Cities Interfaith Coalition for many years now. But also, number two, I'll tell you a little story. Back in late 2018, I suffered a major health scare. I was hospitalized for about almost 5 weeks. I underwent a series of surgeries. I underwent 5 surgeries in 6 days. It was a really bad time. I have a friend who I've known since beginning of junior high. So since we were 13, came to visit me. Now, he's a teacher. And on his weekends, he plays the organ at his local church. And he came to see me. And he gave me this. He said the retired women, basically the auxiliary, the trustees at the church where he is, I told them about what you were going through and they made you a prayer shawl. And it's one of the most heartfelt things that's ever happened. Every time I go into the hospital, I make sure this is packed with me. I may not be a Christian person. I may follow a different spiritual path, but this is one of my most prized possessions because of the value of the positivity that went into it and the fact that some people can look beyond religious boundaries. So to try to take the stab at me that I'm mad because someone goes to church, you lost that fucking battle, bro. You lost that battle. But you lose a lot of battles now, don't you? Now, as far as number one, the mom's basement comment, seriously, dude, get some new material. I hate to break it to you. I'm a homeowner in this city. And on top of it, I've been spoken to my mother since 2018. So good luck on you there. You just keep strike. You just keep whiffing at them. Stop taking them swings because you ain't doing that shit. And I just kind of left it. I mean, you can obviously tell he was targeting me. He took my voice from past episodes and put it through an AI generator. Obviously has to take a shot about my weight, which am I a little on the stocky side? Absolutely. I've also been wheelchair bound for the majority of the last few years and going through physical therapy to regain my strength. Yeah. Busy puppy today. To make the Ozempic comment, like low-hanging fruit, jackass. Which, I'm sorry, but if you really want to take it down to brass tacks, you want to insult my physical stature, I'll tell you like I tell other people. Give your grandkids a story about you lost an ass-kicking contest to a one-legged man. So it was what it was. I deleted the comment, banned him from the page. Whatever. Take your swing. You failed. Take your 23 Facebook likes and shove them up your ass because that's what your page has. I'm talking about the page that's making the AI videos, not the mayor's page. The page is putting this all out because, oh, well, we're going to get to it. Seems to want to swing a social media dick. Once again, wrong tree to be barking up. So, I mean, that was what it was. I spoke to some people. They saw it. And once again, one person told me, who's been telling me for over a year, you live rent-free in Jeff's head. Yeah. Which, I'm sorry, but if you're the mayor of a city, you should be worried about other things other than what one person thinks or says about you. You have a constituency. You have to cater to the entire city. But you want to be a child Target one person who just happens to be vocal and has a platform. Not a smart move. Not a smart move. So then, like I said, it was what it was. But then, 2 days ago, I wake up and I have a text from someone, and there's a link to that same page. And apparently, making a shitty AI version of what they think I am just wasn't enough. They couldn't leave well enough alone. So then we get this, and here's where we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to have to bounce back and forth towards this a little bit, but yeah, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Let's see here. Yep, here we go.
The following video contains some of the worst language ever, which may be offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly recommended. Ever wonder why this page is called Unstable Bristol Democrats? This next video was taken from just one of those people, you know, the Party of Tolerance. It was originally found on a podcast aired on February 27, 2025 by a page called Full Circle Radio.
Okay, so we're gonna hold off right there for a second. Just a second. We're gonna hold off on. So right there. Now, mind you, they actually linked that episode of Catharsis down below for context. I'm sorry I cut it up before then. One glaring problem, and I'm gonna have to jump in the Wayback Machine here, folks. So I apologize. I'm gonna have to go all the way back to February 27th of this year. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, why don't you fucking run for office? Now, I even said some people have a defeatist attitude of, I'll run, but I'll lose. That's not my viewpoint. My viewpoint is of a few things. Number one, I'm already an independent. I've been an independent since I registered to vote at the age of 18. If I was to choose to run, I wouldn't be able to get the campaign funds to run as an independent. So I would have to choose a party. And that right there would be betraying everything that I've done. Oh, gee, that's kind of funny. That's wait. But the AI video said that I'm one of the Bristol Democrats. So, as I put out in the past, a lot of you boomer motherfuckers will believe anything you see because it's on the internet. Well, there's an AI video saying one thing, and there is literal video of me completely contradicting that. So what you gonna do? But that's just the tip of the iceberg. You see, this video goes on for 5 minutes, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm not. Just a couple little bit snippets, a couple little bit more that I've got to just kind of put out there.
A link with the original video will be in the comments for full context. Now, on a side note, we have to commend this person for their exquisite interior decorating skills and their cleanliness skills. We have a table over here covered in junk. Looks like psychiatric meds and garbage. Note the crooked lampshade. Also, I can't help but notice the nice big black stain on the couch. My guess is spilled bong water or some other similar substance. You know, I don't even want to get into what the room might smell like. And on this side, it looks like big piles of laundry. Also, note the crooked pictures. I mean, put your laundry away, bro. At least if you're going to make a podcast or Zoom video, take note of your surroundings. Now let's listen in.
And you know something? I'll completely full screen out for this. Looks like I can't full screen out anymore. Oh, there we go. So if all you can get me on is a crooked lampshade, which crooked pictures, which apparently you can't tell the difference between a shadow and a stain because it's the same couch. There is no giant black stain on it. By the way, making the bong water reference, once again, shows you don't know shit because anybody that knows, and anytime I've spoken about it, knows old JJ is allergic to marijuana. JJ don't like pot, nor does he like potheads. And oh, look at the stuff piled up over there. Yeah, you see, it's called spring cleaning. It's called I was gathering up clothes to put in a donations box. So yeah, I was kind of in the middle of things when I decided to record the last episode. Sorry, but you know, that's how us poors live, where not everything is this beautiful, spotless immaculateness every moment of every day. But as you can see, what's on the table there? Some books, a coffee can I keep change in because that's where I just do it because, you know, pocket change, boom, throw it in there. What's over there? Gee, books, a wooden box holding a semi-valuable bottle of something. Nice little memento I've got there. And the wall art, well, and we got a puppy. Which, if you want to complain about anything, the way my furniture looks, if you've noticed, I'm a dog owner. And my dog is allowed on the furniture. Because that's how it goes. And actually, the wall art there, I actually got from the city's Buy Nothing group from someone. And I was just like, oh, that kind of looks nice. And I just basically put it up recently. Because if you go back and watch a couple of season 1 episodes of Wildcard Cinema, you don't even see those. So I was just like, the walls are kind of bare. I kind of like this. I'll put these up here until I get, you know, the workshop downstairs more organized and stuff. And that's all it really was. I mean, you can see. If that's the best shots you can take at me, you've lost. Seriously. Like, seriously, bro. And using the voice modulator to slow down your voice ain't fooling anybody, Jeff. But yeah, let's get back to it. Let's get back to where they were going with this. Cause yeah. So let's go back to the beginning, to the humble, which here's what's really hilarious. Because I don't allow clipping and remixing of my videos, they had to use a screen recorder, and the dumb motherfucker forgot to take off the captioning on their YouTube. Humble. To the manure fucking covered roots of where Mayor Fuckbuckle came into play. By the way, Fuckbuckle is one word, not two. And also, your editing sucks. For his inauguration, held it at a church. Not just any church, but a Baptist church that is staunchly anti-LGBTQ in this community. To the fact where they said that anyone who is of an alternative lifestyle would not be allowed entry into that church for the proceedings unless they denounced their lifestyle. So this is what you're going to say is completely false. That's all you're going to do is slap a completely false over there. Now, if any of you have been following anything I say on Catharsis, I back it up. Fuck around and find out. So let's fuck around and find out, shall we? Here we go. And I will link this article down below. But this is an article that actually was published the day after Mayor Fuckbuckle's election. Tuesday City Council meeting was first for new administration. I'm going to come down here. The first item on the agenda was public participation. Here's where I am right here. And when Laura Minor, who actually I've known for a few years now and is an amazing person, stand-up citizen, has done a lot for this city. Laura Minor stepped up to the microphone. The new mayor and his council were reminded that they were now subject to public disapproval, as former Mayor Ellen Zappo-Sassu experienced so often. Ms. Minor expressed her extreme disappointment at the choice of Liberty Baptist Church as the site of the previous night's inauguration ceremony. She stated that she understood the rationale that many people did not want to wear a mask could be the reason for not using a public school auditorium for the ceremony, but said the fact that the location was moved to a church, which does not welcome, as members of our LGBTQ citizens, one that has not participated anywhere that interfaith services are accepted, was very upsetting. Minor asked hypothetically what the reaction could be if another administration held the inauguration in a mosque or a temple. She continued, I hope that while you hold power in this office, you recognize that you have the power to decide who will be respected and how. I hope truly that this was an error of judgment and isn't an indication of what we will see in the future. She finished by saying, I pray that you will truly be one of the elected officials of all people of Bristol. That was in 2021. And yeah, since then, no gots. No gots. Since then, every time except for one, every time the Interfaith Coalition has extended an offer for Jeff to participate in something, he always said, oh, I can't, I have something else, or just refused to answer. And he was actually called out on it this past year for the Thanksgiving service when another council member, Mark Dickow, actually did show up and was actually in communication with us. And the whole thing was, he said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then the illustrious mayor had forwarded an email to Mark discussing, oh, I'm not able to go because of something. Can anyone go in my stead? I always go to these, yada, yada. But the email he forwarded to Mark was the one where it actually had the chain in it of him saying how he refuses to go to the actual stuff. He outed himself, as he does a lot, as you can see. So yeah, so you can put up completely false, and I got receipts, motherfucker. So go right ahead. You can keep saying this shit didn't happen when it did, and I will keep coming forward with receipts showing that it did. So as the video goes on, they continue to just take clippets of me saying fuck a bunch of times. Because that seems to be all they've got, is to say, oh my God, he says fuck so much. Like, such abhorrent language. Like, that's how people in the normal world talk, motherfucker. And also, anybody that's been subscribed to this channel for the long run knows that this used to be our logo, baby. Parental advisory. We say fuck a lot. But yeah, so it goes on, and it basically shows me being unhinged, and I need psych meds, which, number one, I'm not on any psych meds. I just happen to be a very passionate person who expresses my anger. That's why this show is called Catharsis. It is cathartic for me to get out my anger by doing this. It's healthy. But you want to sit there and say, oh my God, look at how psychotic, how unhinged. I would like to point forth to some of the people that you all seem to idolize, and that would be people like Bill O'Reilly and Rush Limbaugh and Alex Jones, who all they do is yell and rant, tell people to shut up. But hey, no, I'm unhinged for doing it. You see, if I was unhinged, right now, this episode would probably be going quite differently. I mean, I sit here and I give proof of what I'm talking about, and I do it by listing sources that are accredited, local newspapers. I'm not sitting here quoting some random blog and spouting some tinfoil hat nonsense. I'm giving you facts. And like I said, I really, I'm not getting any monetary gain out of this. I'm just doing it because, well, word needs to go out. And yeah, so I'm trying to see where they had to mention me talking shit about Kara, which I'll get to. Yeah. Keep it. Oh yeah, here we go. This is I really like this part. I really like this part that I'm gonna have to bring up. It's it's quite funny. Hold on, let me X out of that. I've got too many tabs open. I apologize. Here we go. We'll go back over here. Also, if you are listening to the audio only version of this on Spotify, I do apologize. There is a link to the actual video link on YouTube so you can see these references for yourself. If you have a Facebook profile. But at least I'm using a medium that has a broader scope. I want to fucking see it. See? I did this. No, fucker. Fuck you. Yeah, that's... So their big gotcha moment is saying, oh, he thinks he has a broader reach than us. Here's the number of views on two of the latest videos he put up, which were of live music that I put up from the concert I was at last week. So it was literally the day after. And I had uploaded these videos and they're like, oh, look, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's just one of the things that I do. It's called creating content. And if you think that YouTube is the only place you can find this, you're sorely mistaken. And this is where I want to lead back to take your 23 likes and shove them up your ass. Your page has 23 Facebook likes. You have more followers than likes, which means you paid for bots. On top of that, now the video I just clicked on, now currently the views, the number of views on that is around 360. But the thing is, with Facebook, all you need to do is hit refresh and those views go up. Because just in the time that I've done it here, when I started and I hit play, it was at 357. I hit refresh and it's at 358. Hit refresh, 359. So you can sit here as a fool's errand and just keep hitting refresh to try to make it look like more people are watching your shit. They're not. You got 23 fucking likes. Meanwhile, the Full Circle Radio Facebook page alone has close to 1,000. And like I mentioned on the last show, Facebook is not the end all be all. We have the YouTube channel. We have my followers on Twitter, Blue Sky, Reddit, Spotify. It's called diversification. While you are sitting here with your thumb up your ass, thinking you've got this big gotcha moment on me with your 23 likes and your little ass Facebook page. Once again, you lose. You've lost the fucking battle. Sorry. Need a cough drop. Feeling a little hoarse today. Actual cough drops. Because God knows, you want to take a stab at my weight because that's all you got. And trust me, I used to be heavier. But yeah, it's certain things in life happen and you got to overcome them, and that's what I do. I mean, you want to complain about the state of my house? Geez, sorry. There's some days where I wake up in a shit ton of pain and I'm in a wheelchair for the day. And I can't do things like go up and down the stairs to do my laundry. I do most of my stuff out of the home. I have a home-based business and I do what I can. The wife gets home at night. I'm not going to ask her to do 1,000 things because she had to travel to and from work. I try to have dinner ready for her. You want to know what my house smells like? It usually smells like whatever I'm cooking. Last night I made bistek Tagalog. It was fucking delicious. Today, well, I mean, I've got the windows open. It's a nice pre-spring day. It's 60 degrees outside. It's a beautiful thing. You want to take jabs at someone, stop trying to punch above your weight class. And I'm sure you're going to take that out of context and be like, see, he's fat. That's not what I mean. You don't get it. You don't get it. I do this as a method of a release, as a vent, and to be informative. While you're out there making shitty AI videos, trying to pass the buck and place blame on other people, I'm just giving people facts. I'm making people aware. Because, well, what did Jack Nicholson say? This town needs an enema. It's backed up with a lot of bullshit from people like Jeff Caggiano, Mayor Fuckbuckle. So that takes us to part 2 of this episode, if you will. I got to talk about the shitty AI videos and how they decided to come after me and failed miserably. Which I'm sorry, but I can see the analytics on my channel and on every specific video. So I can see, yeah, you linked my video and basically people click and watch the first minute and then turned it off. So whatever. No skin off my nose. But you cannot link the entire video and then say for context when you are deliberately taking shit out of context to try to make me look like some raving madman. Doesn't work that way. So after I made the last episode, I was contacted by several people about several different things. Now I'm going to try to keep my sources anonymous. And trust me, Jeff, if you think my sources are the people that you automatically target, you're sorely wrong. Some of these people that have come forward are people that you have never heard of in your life. Because you see, when I tell people, if you have a story, you need to reach out, I'm here to help your story be told. That's called being a man of the people. Something you're severely lacking. I had to explain to a couple of people who, and it came from, they were from the same pool of voter apathy where they're like, how does this asshole keep getting elected? And I say, well, municipal elections in the city happen on odd-numbered years and not enough people that are registered show up. And I mentioned how the last election, we have 30,000 people registered to vote in this city. Less than 10,000 showed up. Fuck buckle, one by less than 2,000. So the goal is to actually get more registered voters to the polls this year. And as I mentioned, I can be an advocate. I can give some people coaching. I am not choosing a party. I'm an independent. I even mentioned, and they actually used a clip in that stupid little video where I said, here's the problem on both sides. You see how that works? You're completely just contradicting yourself and making yourself look like a fucking fool. So I have notes. Wanted to make sure that I had these notes, and I can get rid of that. Mention my digital footprint. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the comments about both there's probably psych meds on that table and I missed my psych meds in the AI video. Now, obviously, it's been proven false. Most of my medications are, most of them are natural supplements. Just for anti-inflammatory purposes. I'm on gabapentin for nerve damage. Vitamin D, I'm actually prescribed. Nexium for heartburn. Like nothing earth-shattering here. Very low dose of a mild painkiller for when for when my pain gets really bad. Yeah. I take a statin at night to prevent high blood pressure. Like nothing big. But for you to target people is just a form of bullying. Because there is a mental health crisis in this country. And there's a lot of people that need mental help. And a lot of people don't know how to reach out. And I mean, granted, now with especially like YouTube partner program and BetterHelp getting more word out and everything, it's helping a lot more people and helping people realize that, they can seek therapy and they're not an outcast. Well, when assholes like you come forward and try to make it that, if you're on an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety or whatever, that means you're less than. It's basically what you're saying. That's just a form of fucking bullying. And is that the kind of person you want running this city? someone who automatically just says you're medicated, so you're a second-class citizen. Is that what you want? Because that's what's happening here. You know, that's just some food for thought. I mentioned the poor editing, glaring omission. So I guess that takes us to the 3 points, sorry, that I needed to bring up, that I was contacted about. So the first one I need to bring up, I was DM'd by someone who I've known for quite a decent amount of time, who is keeping anonymity in this. Is a female, I will tell you that, who watched that episode and automatically DM'd me, almost in a panic. And I'm not going to share the screen on this, so I've just just because. And I didn't take screenshots, so I'm going to read this verbatim as it says. So if you want to call it hearsay, go right ahead. But this is just, this happened. Sorry. Good Lord. I apologize for the dead air, folks. God damn, where'd it go? I want to make sure I have a direct quote on this so that I'm not just speaking out of turn. So basically, I spoke in my last episode about them trying to do the budget cuts, and one of the budget cuts they mentioned was Josh Medeiros on the Parks and Rec committee saying, "Let's get rid of security, and that'll save us $28,000 a year." At which part I said, "That's not a good idea because number one, that's money, that's if you're employing one person, that's a shit, you're hardly paying them enough, and if it's two people part-time, that's even worse." But so the friend contacted me, and here we go, and said, I can tell you exactly why there's security at Rockwell and Page Park, and they happen to know quite a few people that are either retired law enforcement, private investigators, and or both. And they said the reason that they have security there is because of problems with human trafficking. It's known by law enforcement and private investigators that Rockwell Park is very active for predators and human traffickers that find prey there. It's happening when women pull into parking lots. They prey on women alone or with children. They purposely park close to one side of the victim's vehicle, and they start friendly conversations to get out of their vehicle to get closer to the victim and befriend them. It's always men in big trucks and vans. This info has been relayed to the mayor several times, yet suddenly it doesn't seem to be an issue in his eyes or the eyes of Parks and Rec. It's still happening, but at all Bristol parks. And they said, feel free to use my information any way you can. Don't use my name, of course. Sad thing is, even though women will post it on town Facebook pages and the cops are called, I've never seen it in the news to warn others. And the few times I've seen it posted on places like Bristol Talks and comment on it to follow, and tell others, yes, this is a real thing. Yes, this does happen in Connecticut. My comment gets removed and the whole post gets removed. Whomever is controlling the Bristol pages I'm on removes them quickly, which we happen to know. So that's the first little bit, but that's not the big part. Holy shit. Oh my God. I know that guy, Alex. He's a complete perv, a gross, sick perv. I can't ever forget that face and that mole. I wish I never deleted those messages. I wouldn't be surprised if you can find something on him being completely inappropriate towards women. He has no respect whatsoever for women. That fucker messaged me in 2017 and I could never remember his name, but I can't forget that face. He was friends with a guy in Bristol that I worked for. I'm leaving out some details because it could lead back. I became friends with the person because I was working at a shop and wanted to learn more about this trade. That guy went from cool to talking sexual. I called his married ass out and blasted him. And then blocked him. But before he turned into a pig, his buddy Alex messaged me. Fucking gross. I mean, completely crude gross. I remember the message was saying hi, saying I looked hot, and do I want to meet up at a motel and some other crap I can't remember at this point. It was a long first message. He flipped out when I told him he fucked with the wrong woman and I'm getting the cops involved. I told him I was going to ruin his life. He didn't like that. I blocked him before he could say much else to me. I wish I had contacted the cops. I didn't realize he was involved in local politics. I just thought he was some old guy that had no life sitting in a dark room harassing women online. When you showed that guy's pic in your video, I blurted out, holy shit, that girl. I think I just kept talking out loud for a few minutes in shock when I saw it. So, yeah. And that was one person. Then other people contacted me about Alex Catharsis, who's still posting as John Stevens, by the way, saying he's been known to make sexual advances on women and basically assault women, and at a political fundraiser a few years back, he straight up went over to a woman and licked her face in front of everyone. The guy is a disgusting perv. And he's going to be making a bid for the Board of Education this year. Let's keep an eye out. Keep an eye out because, Alex Catharsis. Apparently we haven't heard the last of him, but if you have any stories, please feel free to reach out. You know how to contact me. Socials are below. Contact me directly, or you can contact the Facebook page. But that wasn't the big gotcha. The big gotcha was someone else that everyone said, you need to talk about this. I said, I do? And these people said, yes. More than one person. That's why I said these people. More than one person came forward and said, this needs to be spoken about. Please speak about this. Because many people either are afraid to speak up because they're afraid of getting attacked, or they just don't have the platform or the reach that I do. Which, once again, you want to make fun of my reach, I diversify, you don't. And you can try to take all the jabs at me you want. What you're ultimately doing is making yourself look like a fool. And the further you go into trying to expose me, the further you get into the realm of harassment, to the point where I laugh at it, but the wife is getting mad. And the wife said, let him blurt out some actual personal info about us, and I will be calling a fucking lawyer. Her words, not mine. See, they think they can get around the shit like that. Like in the AI video, the guy's address that they list is Bleachers Bar, which I think is funny because I think I've been to Bleachers once in the past 5 years, and it was for a Gray Cell Green concert. But you know who did frequent Bleachers Bar? The guy that shot and killed the 2 Bristol cops. And he was a registered Republican. Just saying. Since there were literally Republican representatives there on the dude's front lawn when the news crews were there, not to speak out, but to remove their campaign signs from the front lawn. Because, but that's in the past. That's in the past. So the person that I was told to bring up, and I said, well, why am I bringing this person up? And they said, because this person, even though they're not involved at the state level anymore, is still very much involved in the running of the Bristol Republican Town Committee. And, you know, the campaigns and all that stuff. They're not on the town council, but they work for doing all of the, you know, campaigning, the marketing, all that stuff for the Bristol Republican Party. And I said, okay. And I said, let me do some digging because I'm not going to go off half-cocked. I want to make sure I've got information correct. And what's funny was the moment I looked the person up, I went, oh my God, I recognize this name. I didn't remember where I had recognized it from. But you see, one of the local town Facebook groups, I happen to be the moderator of. I think I've mentioned this on here before. I didn't found the group. I just inherited it after the person who did passed away. And there used to be these posts that 1 or 2 people tried to put through about this person and all of these like awful things about them. And it was a matter of, I wasn't going to publish it because whether it was true or not, the topics weren't in good taste and I didn't want a big flame war going out. But I never discounted it. I was just like, this is some stuff that just shouldn't be discussed in this group. So I didn't let it pass through. But everything came flooding back once it did. And so the person I am talking about that is still heavily involved, that is still close friends with Buckbuckle and with Kara, which is when I give you that detail, you're going to say, what? Someone by the name of Gary Shafrick. So, like I said, I decided, I was just like, okay, so what do I need to look up? So, you know, like I said, I will link the 2 articles that I'm about to talk about below. So, that's Gary Shafrick. Now, if you're saying, gee, that looks like a mugshot, you would be correct. State GOP treasurer resigns over child endangerment arrest. This is from the Connecticut Post. This is from 2016. So this is 9 years ago. March 2016. So yeah, almost legit 9 years ago. He was 52 at the time, so he's 61 now. Facing child endangerment charges for allegedly bathing naked with a 5-year-old boy. The longtime treasurer at the Connecticut Republicans resigned from his elected post and paid position with the party on Monday. Gary Shafrick, 52, relinquished his post after a warrant containing the lurid details of his March 6th arrest in his home city of Bristol was unsealed. Shafrick's resignation was announced in an email to party leaders Monday afternoon by state GOP chairman J.R. Romano. This is an ongoing court case. I just don't feel it's appropriate for me to comment on, Romano told Hearst Connecticut Media. Shafrick's Bristol-based lawyer, Jody Zills-Ganya, did not respond to a request for comment on Monday, but told the Bristol Press that her client plans to plead not guilty. Shafik remains free on a $25,000 bond until his next court appearance, which is scheduled for April 4th. So that's the first part, but don't worry. There's more. And like I said, I will link this. And I will say share this tab instead. So here's another article from Connecticut Post. Once again, link below. Same mugshot. No jail for man accused of bathing with boy. A former state GOP treasurer who was accused of bathing with a 5-year-old boy will avoid jail time after pleading guilty to a child endangerment charge. Gary Shafik, now 53 at the time, the former state Republican Party treasurer, sparked controversy inside the party in 2016 when he continued to perform duties while fending off police claims that he bathed naked with the boy and gave the boy candy to sleep in his bed. Shafik of Bristol was sentenced Wednesday to a 10-year suspended jail sentence and 5 years of probation after pleading guilty to 1 count of risk of injury to a minor, according to his lawyer. His charges stem from a stint of babysitting the boy who was the child of a relative in 2015. His guilty plea does not include admission to those specific acts or an apology to the family, Shafik's Bristol-based lawyer, Jody Zilzganya, said. He was charged on March 8, 2016, and announced his resignation on March 28th, but the charges didn't mark the end of Shafik's political career. 9 years later, they still haven't. That's my addition. In April of 2016, he was chosen as one of 2 Connecticut Republicans to help organize the party's national convention. That choice received criticism from the state party insiders, who noted that the same week Shafik was serving the national committee, former GOP House Speaker Dennis Hastert had been sentenced for paying hush money to a child victim. Shafik earned around $4,000 for logistics and record-keeping work after his arrest, according to the Federal Election Commission records. Despite the payments, state party leaders said at the time that they had severed ties with Shafik. He's not an employee, CTGOP chief J.R. Romano told the Post in August 2016 after the GOP convention. He's no longer at the party. According to Romano, Shafik had also served as a member of the 72-member Republican State Central Committee. Romano did not respond to a request for comment. So, long and the short of this, break out a Dobry Acrobat, people, because we're dealing with some PDF files here. Got to get around the way YouTube says stuff. On Spotify, I'm sure you can figure it out too. Or on Reddit. Or on X, or anywhere else this is diversified. So yeah, that's a big blemish. That's a pretty big blemish. Now here's the problem. He is still involved, as I said, in the Bristol Republican committees. He is still close friends with Mayor Fuckbuckle. Oh, here's another tip that I was given by another source. He is currently babysitting someone's kids. He currently still regularly babysits someone's children. A known molester, a known PDF file. And that person whose children he babysits for, big Karen Energy, Kara Pavlak D'Amato. She trusts her children with a known PDF file. Jeff Caggiano is close friends with a known PDF file. Are these the type of people that you want in office? The party of family values. The party who says that LGBTQ people are mentally ill and that they're grooming our children. These are the same people that befriend a known offender. What's that word? Hypocrisy? Yeah, I believe it's hypocrisy. Yeah, hypocrisy. Yeah. Kind of funny how that happens. So yeah, people have mentioned to me quite a bit about good old Gary. I believe there might have been a little bit more info. Let me see if I can pull it up from text messages. I'm trying to make the browser not crash again. Sorry about this. Jeff's close ties with Gary, the PDF file. Oh, apparently Gary still runs the show for the VRTC because Jeff and Whitbets both still consider him a close friend. Whitbets is another person who is currently in office, who is part of the Republican Party, and so does Kara. So there's one. There's one glaring problem is a known offender being close friends with 3 people who are currently elected, who are all of the Bristol Republican Party. And then they sit here and they blame the Board of Education for the city's problems, when really it's because of their poor budgeting. As we came to find out last night, because, and this just dropped like while I was putting together this episode. So I was told that there was an emergency Board of Ed meeting last night that was a total shit show. I still can't view the video because they haven't put it up, but let's see, what a shit show. They're slashing the teaching positions, so much so that the teachers unions are going to sue. And on top of it, there was something passed where now people in town who have registered vehicles, their cars are now, what do you call it? The car taxes are going to go up again. And I believe I believe car taxes and homeowners taxes are going up again. And they're trying to blame the governor. Of course, it's always someone else's fault. The townspeople are very upset about it. And so that's a developing situation. But basically, the party that said we're not going to raise taxes are now raising taxes for 2 years in a row. And they're trying to blame the Board of Education and trying to blame special education for it. And I know there's people that used to be friends with Jeff who are very upset now because there's people who say, I either have or know a family member, yada, yada, with a child with special needs. And I thought that Fuckbuckle was my friend and he's voting against my interests. And I said, he's nobody's friend. He's out for himself. He's out to make himself look good. He's out to make himself look fucking great. A fucking rock and crystal shop just opened up in the center of town and they put up his usual mayor photo op ribbon cutting today. And it's literally him cutting the ribbon outside and then quick shots from an Instagram reels of the inside of the shop. He never actually went in. You know why? Oh, I can tell you know why. because I guarantee he thinks that's devil stuff. Because people with rocks or crystals, that's devil stuff. People who touch little kids, oh no, that ain't devil stuff, according to Jeff. And that brings me to the last bit. It was a little something else that happened earlier this week. And this is something that that I was approached about. And they said, no one wants to speak on record about this. And I go, let me have it. Let me know. And you have an outlet. So, and this goes back to the first part of this now trilogy, which I never planned for this to go beyond one thing. But apparently, at the beginning of the trilogy, we were talking about Representative, what's his name? Oh, yeah. Good old Joe Hoxha. He's so mad about that picture. That's great. This is what happens. You want to come out with a page that does a bunch of bad AI shit. Bad AI shit comes back to bite you in the ass. So there's a business in Bristol. It's one of the few restaurants in the center of Bristol. This motherfucker claims to be, the center of town is thriving. It's not. And it's a business that I won't frequent because the owners are good friends with Fuckbuckle. That's I not only do I vote, but I vote with my dollar. And any business in this town that has openly endorsed him, but you don't get my business. You don't. I literally got a menu from a place the other day and I went, this place looks really good. Then I go to research them and oh look, that's where Fuckbuckle held his re-election announcement. Well, guess what? I don't care. You could have the best motherfucking mofongo on the planet. I ain't going there. You chose your side. Sorry. The Republicans did the same thing to other businesses that openly endorsed other candidates. So turnabout's fair play. And it's a beautiful thing about being an independent. Once again. No, so apparently the two goons, Fuckbuckle and Fabulous Joe, I agree. So what happens when you keep when it's a nice day and you have the windows open and there's kids playing outside, puppy dog likes to bark. It happens. So the other night, Fabulous Joe got booted out of this establishment. He got booted out for being overtly drunk and overly disorderly and making sexual advances on an underage girl. Apparently, it was one of the servers, but making overt advances on an underage girl and was asked to leave the premises. So now not only do we have people on the Republican Party associating with PDF files, but now we have people in elected office who themselves are offenders. Like, aren't you married, bro? Are you? I'm not sure. I don't look that farther into things, but I know one thing. I know that you're closer to my age than you are to 17. This ain't a matter of, I was 19 and she was 17 and a whole gray hair. No. You 40. She's 17. You nasty. People are afraid to speak out about it because they're afraid they'll get targeted. Y'all motherfuckers are already targeting me. Take your best shot. The more that you use your time and your resources to target me, the more it shows that I've won. So go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. Because it's hilarious. It is so hilarious how sad it is that you have to come after one person because they expose your bullshit. And trust me, I can do this all day. Steve Rogers. You have to sit there and rally your troops and figure out your next plan of attack with your shitty AI videos. All I got to do is hit record. I'm here. So go ahead. Instant karma is going to get you. Yeah, so I'm sure there will be another shitty, chopped up video of me within the next 2 weeks leading you here. Because I know they can't learn. I know they won't learn their lesson. I know they're going to keep coming after me. Go ahead. Send me more traffic. Send the YouTube channel some traffic. For those of you who actually sat through and are actually watching this and didn't click off after the first 30 seconds, well, the links are below. You can see all this info. Receipts. That's how we play. And I think that's all I've got for today. I got to start getting dinner ready for wifey. Hey, Titus. Come here. As always, yes, you're here to do your job. Tell everyone. Say like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Good boy. Please like and subscribe. If you're here on YouTube, great. If you're listening on Spotify, great. If you found this through Reddit, through X, through Blue Sky, that's great. You found it from word of mouth. That's great. Just know that I'm one person. But I do what I can because I care. I'm not out to bully people. I'm only out to make sure the truth is told. Thank you for joining me in my catharsis once again. Y'all have yourselves a great day.
This karma's gonna get you, gonna knock you right in the head. Better get yourself together.